Hey guys, how's it going? It's your old pal TG here, and as you can see, I'm not in the record room at the moment. I'm actually on the road. I'm at the Making Vinyl Festival in Haarlem in the Netherlands, and the festival's about to start today, but I arrived yesterday, and lo and behold, there was a record fair not too far from my hotel, so I thought, well, it would be rude not to go and take a look. And so I don't have my proper microphone or anything. I didn't plan on making any videos while I was away, but I picked up some really good stuff at the record fair. So I wanted to make a little on the road video and show you what I picked up. And first of all, the selection at this record fair was absolutely incredible. I will say that. The prices were about what you'd expect to pay. It's not like I made off like a bandit. You know, I did get some deals, but the prices were fair. I thought they were fair for what they were, and the quality of goods, though, that's truly what blew me away, because the selection was just incredible. Obviously, lots of European pressings, but I am in Europe right now, but it was just great seeing this really wonderful selection. And the first thing I saw, literally the first thing I picked up, first thing I saw was this really killer Black Sabbath Paranoid the Wizard 7-inch. Now, I'm not a Black Sabbath collector by any stretch of the imagination. Yes, I have some Black Sabbath records, but when Black Sabbath did their last tour ever, my wife and I went to the last show in Birmingham, and on the day of the show, there was also, it'd been up for a while, but there was a museum in Birmingham. They were having an exhibit of Black Sabbath memorabilia and things like that, and one of the sections in there was a ton of Black Sabbath records, different pressings from all over the country. And I saw a copy of this 45, this 7-inch, and I just absolutely fell in love with the sleeve. I mean, Ozzy looks so cool there. Sorry if you're not seeing this so well. I know the lighting isn't great. I am in a hotel room, but I saw that and I thought, wow, if I ever come across that, I will pick it up. And I want to say I paid like €10 for it. It's in great shape. No pops, no clicks, classic vertical swell label. Absolutely killer 7-inch. And I think this is either French or Dutch. I don't know if this actually says on the record. French, oh, made in Holland. There you go. So this is actually a Dutch 45. I think this one also, the same cover, was in France as well. But that was my first thing. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to have fun at this record fair. And that's exactly what I did, because I moved on from the 7-inches, the 45s, onto the LPs and 12 inches of the same guy. Actually, the first store I went to had some killer stuff, and the first LP I picked up is this King Funk LP. Now what this is, it's a killer compilation, rare, fast and hard, 24 essential funk cuts from the label that gave birth to the music. So King Records really did start producing funk. There is so much good stuff here, so much good stuff. And this is actually a UK LP. I had no clue, I'd never seen this anywhere before. And I paid €20 for this. It's a double LP, so just under £20. But there is so much killer stuff on here, so many things that I'm like, I recognise that. Has that been sampled in? Ah, it has been sampled in something. So this album is essentially just a bunch of funk cuts that have been sampled everywhere. It's a really great album. I highly recommend this. I listened to this as soon as I got back, because yes, I do travel with a turntable. I have my Soundburger with me everywhere I go. And luckily enough, or weirdly enough, there was a Bluetooth speaker in my room. So the first thing I did, hooked it up, started listening to records in my hotel room, because that's what I do. You know, when you're the vinyl boss, everywhere you go, you play records. Next up, and this was only €5, so not any kind of major investment, but was this really cool Ennio Morricone compilation. Now, next to Jerry Goldsmith, I probably own more Morricone records than any other artist. You know, the guy was producing such prolific music for such a long time. And this is just a brilliant single disc compilation. And what's cool about this one as well, this one was in some kind of library. I don't know if you can see that there. But yeah, it was in some kind of library, and this is Disque d'Or. My French is terrible. Ennio Morricone. So basically, music composed by Ennio Morricone, and the stuff in here is from Sacco and Vanzetti. My Name is Nobody. or My Name Is No One, and Once Upon a Time in the West, I believe. But just a really good compilation. And you know, I am a sucker for a good compilation because sometimes I don't want to sit there and listen to 4 or 5 different LPs just to hear a collection of tracks. So compilations for me work really, really well, and I'm stoked that I found that one for €5, so less than a coffee. Next up, this is a record. I don't even want to think how many versions I have for this, but once I saw this, I decided, well, you know, I might as well go for the full set. So this is the original French pressing of John Carpenter's Escape from New York, and this is actually the first press. There are 2 versions of this. I believe this one came out in 1981 and the repress came out in 1983. But I mean, I love this cover. Basically, I love all the covers for this LP. They're all so weird and wonderful. And you got Snake Plissken there looking like a complete badass. And the film was called New York 1997 in France. This was released on the Milan label. There you go. And again, in pretty much mint condition. May have been played, may have been stored, not entirely sure, but it's in great shape. And I now have, I want to say I have like a German version, the American version, the English version, the French version. I know I have another one as well, maybe the Italian version. I'm not sure, but I mean, this is so cool. And also this one has a spelling error or something, if you will. Instead of saying the crazies come out on the back, it says the crazy come out, so it's missing an S. A little bit of knowledge there for you, because you never know. A little bit of knowledge goes a long way. And now, you know me, I like all kinds of music, all different stuff. Doesn't have to be metal or pop or rock. I like everything. You know, we've got some funk, we've got some soundtrack, we've got some, basically the beginning of metal. And now we also have the Cramps. Bad music for bad people. Now, I don't own any Cramps music. I am not a huge Cramps fan. But obviously, I'm a big fan of the song Goo Goo Muck that was featured in the Wednesday TV show. That itself is a cover. But I freaking love this record. And it took me... The thing with, like, I could have gone online and bought a copy of this, but I prefer being in person. I don't know if that's a character flaw, but I like seeing stuff and buying it in person. And this is in great shape. And I will say this now, after having a quick look around on Discogs, I think this is a bootleg, because this is pressed on opaque yellow vinyl, which I don't believe the album actually came out on originally, or any of its official represses. I think this is a bootleg, but I will say this, I have listened to this, and yes, I'm only listening on a Soundburger through a Bluetooth speaker, but it sounds pretty good. You know, I enjoyed it. I listened to it and was like, oh, that's cool. So I really did enjoy that, and I might actually have to start digging into some other Cramps records. And while I do have some more stuff, I'm just going to show you one more album, because this is something I've been looking for a while. And again, I didn't want to buy this online. I wanted to grab this in person if I ever saw it. I'm a huge fan of this band, huge fan of this group, huge fan of the first album. And I also really like the second album, which was, I don't want to say it was a flop, but I mean, I don't even think the first album was much of a commercial success. Certainly put the band on the map, but this is the second album from Gravediggers, The Pick, the Sickle and the Shovel. Different from the first album, maybe not as memorable as the first album, but I love this record. I remember buying the CD of this when this came out and being so stoked that Gravediggers had another record. And at the time I was a CD purchaser, so I didn't miss out on buying vinyl. But I saw this, and it's an original, I think it's is this UK or US? This might be yeah, I think this is a US pressing. And I will say this, it does need a clean. It does need a clean, but looking at it now, it's all superficial, you know, marks and hairs and scratches and stuff, and it can all be cleaned up, and that's something I take into consideration when I'm buying used records. Can I clean this up? Can I get this looking good? And with this one, it was like, oh yeah, easily. That will sound badass. And so that's what I plan to do when I get home. So There you go, guys. A little bit of a look at what I've picked up. I'm actually going to head to the convention very, very shortly. Apologies for the lighting. I'm literally in a hotel room. I just thought, you know what, I'm on the road. I bought some stuff. I'll show you guys rather than wait till I get home and set everything up. I thought I'd show you guys now. So I hope you enjoyed taking a look at some of the records I've picked up on the road. Until next time, though, stay gold and spin those blackest circles.